I'm Tiana Tamra Townsell, your Miss Black Washington USA 2009, and you're watching A Day in the Life of Beauty Queen. Today, XFX put my teaching skills to the test. So let's see how I did.
Hello again, everybody.
Let's play hard. First base. Have you ever thought to yourself, what's an MMORPG? Or, what's an MMO?
Third-person shooter, platform game.
Did you look at that clip and think, what the heck is this girl talking about?
Sports game, racing game, RPG, FPS, action, adventure, mystery.
Well, if you haven't gotten it by now, you should know that we're talking about games. And just like movies, there's a myriad of different types. Today we're going to focus on 10 of them.
RPG stands for role-playing games. These games are the type that are most like the movies because you have the least interaction with your character, meaning you don't have to press the buttons for each punch. The most basic form of these games is a turn-based RPG, where you see the enemy, then you go to another screen and fight. You get to pick what your character does, and then your enemy makes their moves and you take turns. It's all strategy, and after the fight, you go back to your quest scene. In any RPG, you gain experience points. Sometimes you level up with these points, sometimes you buy new abilities. These games are based on statistics and levels and have a high degree of customization. In RPGs, there are also different classes of people, like Jedi, shooters, melee, healers, offensive mages, tanks, wizards, rogues, paladin, monks, and sometimes even more. These are story-based games that take a long time to play, at least 20 to 50 hours. The point of these games are to level up your character and face oncoming challenges and fight higher and stronger enemies. In RPGs, you and your character get better. Your character gets better weapons as they advance, and because of the heavy customization, you have a lot of control of how your character develops. It's put in your hands how you want to advance. Examples are Final Fantasy 1 through 13, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, and Mass Effect. FPS, or first-person shooter, means that the perspective you are looking at the game is from the character's perspective. You are completely immersed in the experience of you being the character. FPSs are shooter games, and every once in a while you'll run across an FPS where you have another weapon of choice. These are games like Halo, Modern Warfare, and Killzone. Third-person shooters are pretty much the same thing. Third-person shooters are seen over the shoulder or slightly behind the character you are playing. This way you can see the character you are controlling. For example, Gears of War. MMORPG is an acronym for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. If a role-playing game and a massively multiplayer online game had a baby, this would be it. This is an online social environment where you interact with other players going to different worlds and servers and leveling up your characters. These games have a lot of grinding, going out to find and fight enemies and creatures and beating them to level up. There are no ends in these games, and you keep playing for more money, items, and levels. Once you get to the level caps, you can still continue to play. You can play to get more loot, which is called looting, or a lot of people switch characters after hitting a level cap, or play the game in a different way. You can do this or go on raids with your old characters, and raids are when you meet up with other people and go attack places together. The RPG elements of this game are usually signified by a lot of different character classes and customization. Think of MMORPGs as never-ending online social experiences where people meet up and form clans and communities. Examples are World of Warcraft, Star Wars Old Republic, and EverQuest. Action games. Think action movies. These are exciting-filled games where you get better at the game as you play, but your character's moves and skills usually do not evolve. These games last around 10 to 20 hours. They are played in third-person view, which means you can see the character, and that means it's easier to run around and fight. In action games, you control the character manually, and the only thing that changes is the items and weapons they use, which may give you more defense, but you usually don't level up in normal action games, and you won't get any more hit points or abilities. These games are very item-based and heavy skill-based. They are more for people who like pushing buttons, and they are more exciting than tactical. Action games are games like Contra, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, Dead Rising, Devil May Cry, Legend of Zelda, and Ninja Gaiden. Action RPGs are all about the experience points, and this mix of these two game types means the character is usually customizable and the game is story-based. Unlike traditional RPGs, you fight in the same quest world because they don't want the experience to be broken up. They want to continue to be action-based, and unlike traditional action games, these games have intense stories. In these games, you can control how you and the characters around you evolve. These are skill-based games with a good storyline. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is a good example because you're still pushing buttons for each punch, and it's customizable and story-based. Other examples are Kingdom Hearts, which is a very fun game with a great story. It utilizes RPG character classes and action fighting techniques, and you go around Disney World and movies and you fight all the bad guys with Donald the healer and Goofy the warrior at your side. Other examples are Borderlands and Fable.
Type 6, horror games.
Horror games are action-type games with heavy item management. They don't give you a lot of bullets, whereas traditional action games usually give you unlimited ammo. Horror games are usually dark and in third-person perspective. Because you do not have sufficient ammo, you very well could die. These games have a lot of puzzles and running in them as well. Their aim is to scare you. Examples are Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Alan Wake, and Dead Space. In fighting games, you pick a character, control them, and fight the other characters in the game. These games are arena-based and completely skill-based games. You never buy any more moves. It's all about how you use the moves in the context of the game. You win the game by beating all the characters and beating the boss. They are very competitive-based and great for two people fighting against each other. Examples are Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken 6.
Type 8, racing games.
Racing games are done with cars, motorcycles, planes, and just about anything you can race. In these games, your character isn't important at all. It's all about the item you're racing. These games can be arcade, where the physics are just for fun and not realistic. You can drive through the building and come out fine. There are power-ups that you can pick up on the track to knock other people off the track, and you can run from the police. Or they can be simulation games, where the physics are close to reality, more like NASCAR. Racing games have a lot of RPG elements, like tuning the vehicle and upgrading tires and engines, which are usually done by winning the race and earning money. Examples are Project Gotham, Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport, Need for Speed, and Mario Kart. Platformer games used to be popular back in NES days. Nowadays, there aren't as many platformer games being made. These games are where you navigate through the levels, usually by jumping, running, and getting through obstacles until you reach the end goal, and then the level is over. The level itself in this game is your enemy. They're very skill-based games. Examples are Prince of Persia, Braid, which is a time-based platformer game, Sonic, and Super Mario. Sports games, football, basketball, baseball, soccer. Just about any sports you can play in real life, gamers can play in a console. These games can be arcade, unrealistic physics, or simulation games, realistic physics. You can play as a real-life or imaginary sports sensation. These games are in third-person view and you are in control. You call the plays, run them, and take your favorite team to the championships. Examples are NBA Sports, Madden, NBA Live, NBA 2K, FIFA, All-Pro Baseball, NBA Jam, and Street Home Court.
There are a lot of different game types out there, and not all games are the same. They mix games all the time to allow for new products.
There are many hybrid games on the market. For example, Castlevania is a hybrid game. I would call this an action RPG with platforming elements.
There are also RTSs, or real-time strategy games. There's puzzle games like Tetris, music games like Rock Band, card games, wrestling games, And there are also adventure games where you explore your environment and usually walk around with a big sword. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned something about different game types. There are plenty of them out there. So have fun with them and play as many as you can. That's what I like to say. The health tip of the day today is detox 3 to 4 times a year. A detox is when you just clean out your system. You can do this by detox pills, or you can do this by just eating vegetables and fruits and no carbs or anything like that. You mostly detox for 3 weeks, and it's a great way to just give your body a revamp and get yourself well. If you do it 3 to 4 times a year, you are sure to be healthy, and you shouldn't be sick throughout the year. Thank you for watching, and please watch next time to see some more of my answers to the X questions. See you later.